I can't stand having a person this poor in my home any longer. Leave.
Wait, what are you doing? Please stop.
Jane's mother stepped between her husband and I and pulled his hand off me. He glared at her. I won't leave my money to the son of a barbecue shop. Without thinking, I laughed. What's wrong? Money? Whose? Yours? You make less than my dad, though. Can a politician make nearly $6 million a year? There's no way. I'm currently helping out with my dad's business. He runs a barbecue restaurant. My aim is for people all around the world to learn about my dad's barbecue. What encouraged my dad to start this business was my mom's sudden death. It was when I was in middle school. My mom suddenly collapsed from an illness and left this world before I knew it. My dad couldn't accept it, so he quit his job and spent every night drinking and crying in front of photos of my mom. I was just about to start high school, but since my dad's income disappeared, I dropped out of school and began working. Seeing me working so hard, my dad returned to how he used to be and opened up his barbecue business. Through my other jobs, I learned business management skills and accounting, which I brought into my dad's business. Our shop became very famous in our hometown, and that made me even more motivated. One day, one of my bosses who really liked me called me to his office. He greeted me with a big smile on his face. I'm sorry for calling you over like this, and thank you for making time for me. I know you're busy. What I wanted to talk to you about today doesn't have to do with work. Please look at this. My boss's secretary put down a small booklet on the table. Excuse me. I reached for the booklet and looked inside. I've never even seen these in person before, but it looked like they were photos from a matchmaking agency. Are these matchmaking photos? Yeah, this girl is very nice. You're not dating anyone, right? No, I'm not. Why don't you try meeting her once? My dad had done a lot for me throughout the years, so I couldn't refuse. Okay, good. Keep next weekend open. A week passed and it came time for the matchmaking date. My dad was surprised to suddenly hear about this, but since my boss suggested it, he was happy. It's been a while since I wore a suit. It looks good on you. My dad hadn't worn a suit since he quit his day job. Seeing him, I felt nostalgic. I hope she's a good girl. Me too. Honestly, I had never thought about marriage before, and I was doing this for the sake of my boss. My dad and I got to the restaurant, and a waiter led us to a room in the back. I noticed a girl who looked like one in the photos I had seen. You made it here before us. We're very sorry for making you wait. There was still 15 minutes until we were supposed to meet, but they were already there. I looked over at the girl, and she was staring straight at me.
Nice to meet you. Please sit.
The girl, Jane, and her mom were both very beautiful and elegant. Her father, on the other hand, had a very discouraged look on his face. Thank you for meeting us.
As your boss told us, you seem like a nice young man. I heard that you were helping him with management, as well as doing accounting?
Yes, I also help with my dad's business too.
How great! Did you study business management in university? As a father, you must be very proud of your son.
Yes, he's far surpassed me.
I would be grateful if you could teach me a thing or two sometime.
I'm not at a level to be teaching anyone anything.
You're being modest. According to your boss, you graduated from a very good university.
No, I've been working full-time since I graduated from middle school. I never attended university. When I said that, Jane's father, who had been sitting silent and still like a statue until now, suddenly began to yell. What's this? I didn't know this boy hasn't even graduated high school. An uneducated boy like this doesn't match with our daughter at all. His father runs a barbecue shop, right? There's no way such poor people can mix with our family. Hey, stop it. Don't you get it? He's only graduated from middle school. Jane's father pointed at me accusingly. I'm just telling the truth. I'm a government official. The potential son-in-law of a bureaucrat's daughter is a middle school graduate? That's no way that can happen. I had heard from my boss that Jane's father worked for the government, but showing his career off this way? Kevin, let's go. My dad gave me a kind smile. Leave. I also don't want to become related to someone like you. What do you know about my son? It's disappointing that someone like you is a representative of our country. What? Do you even know who you're talking to? I'm talking to a hard-headed politician who desperately clings onto his title. Thank you, Dad. I'm fine with us leaving, but is this really okay with you? You two really are the same. I don't care about either of you. Really? In that case, we're leaving.
Please wait.
Just as we were going to leave, Jane stopped us.
Let me apologize for my dad. I'm really sorry, but I want to get to know Kevin more.
I couldn't believe it. What more did she want to know? She looked serious.
Dear, please leave.
What are you two saying? This boy doesn't deserve any of Jane's time.
Dad, you're just being embarrassing, so please be quiet. Stop ignoring my feelings. She's right. All you do is talk about your position. I really didn't want you to come with us today, but you were so persistent. You're not the important person here today. The people who matter are Kevin and Jane.
A serious family argument was going on in front of my eyes. My dad and I could only watch in silence.
Please leave.
Frustrated and shocked that he was attacked by his wife and daughter, Jane's father left the restaurant, repeating to himself, "It's not my fault."
I'm sorry that you had to see something so embarrassing.
No, don't worry. I was also rude to your husband.
You weren't rude. What you said was completely true.
Jane's mom was outraged at her husband. I almost felt bad for her.
I'm really sorry, but it was the truth that I wanted us to keep talking. If you don't mind, why don't we meet again?
Strangely, she didn't seem to have anything against me. She looked at my dad's shocked face and smiled.
I hope to see you again too.
Thank you. Her smile was dazzling. A few days later, I went to dinner with Jane, and we talked a lot. She was nothing like her father. She didn't look down at me at all. In fact, she respected me. We went out together many times after, and officially began dating. A few months later, we began talking about marriage, and we decided I should try to meet her parents again.
Kevin, I've been waiting for this day. I'm happy.
I'm also happy to get to meet you again. Excuse me, I said, and entered Jane's home. When I stepped into the living room, her father was seated and frozen like a statue.
You like chocolate, right? I made brownies today. Please try them.
Thank you. They look delicious. I took a bite and told Jane's mother that the brownies were tasty, and we carried on having a lively conversation. Jane's father, who wasn't in the mood, suddenly stood up and grabbed my arm. I can't stand having a person this poor in my home any longer. Leave.
Wait, what are you doing? Please stop.
Jane's mother stepped between her husband and I and pulled his hand off me. He glared at her. I can't tell whether you're being fooled by this boy or not. I won't leave my money to the son of a barbecue shop. Without thinking, I laughed. What's wrong? Money? Whose? Yours? You make less than my dad, though. Can a politician make nearly $6 million a year? There's no way. My dad franchises his restaurant, and now there are many of them across the country. He's also been successful in selling frozen and ready meals.
You eat Kevin's father's food all the time, don't you? You always tell me to buy you his brands. Frozen ribs, when I go to the grocery store.
What? Those frozen ribs?
Yes, those are made by Kevin's father's company. We eat your father's frozen meals a lot, so I should thank you.
If you hadn't looked down on me so much, I wouldn't have gone that far. But that barbecue shop you keep making fun of is something we are very proud of, and is something that makes us a lot more money. That's why that day I asked you if you were sure about chasing us away. If you had realized then, it wouldn't have come to this. You must regret it now, right? It's a shame that you couldn't protect your pride. Jane's father looked glum, but he didn't seem like he had reflected on how he had acted. What are you saying? That doesn't change the fact. I work for the government. Oh? Weren't you making fun of me for being poor until just now?
Dad, I'm sick and tired of you. You don't seem sorry at all. In that case, how will you feel when you see this?
Jane put a photograph on the table. When Jane's mother and I looked at the photo, we were shocked. The photo showed her father walking together with a young woman. Overcome with anger, Jane's father quickly snatched the photo off the table. Seeing him like that, I couldn't help but laugh. But Jane's mother's face was frozen.
I have more.
Jane took out another photo and her father snatched it away. She took out yet another, and he did the same. She then took out a bunch of photos and threw them up into the air. The scandalous photos scattered and fluttered everywhere. Her father's face went chalk white.
You're disgusting. You've been cheating on me all along?
No, there's some sort of mistake. That was just a meeting with some other politicians.
Stop using innocent people for your excuses. The only people in those photos are you and that woman.
No, if you listen to me, you'll understand. From what I heard later, Jane's mother had been suspicious of her husband's affair for some time now. Jane's mother told Jane, who then hired a private investigator.
And you say you work for our country's government. How embarrassing.
No, there's a reason.
Stop making excuses. It's getting painful to watch. It's true you have an impressive academic background. The amount of effort you put into graduating from the top university in the country is amazing. But what is this? If people find out about this, how will you continue being a politician? It's pathetic. And if you can't be a politician anymore, what will you do? You can't do anything. Not that your academic history means nothing, but I respect people who live thanks to their own efforts. Yeah, exactly. Until now, I've followed you through everything. I've even dealt with your arrogance and rudeness. I went through all that because I worried about Jane and my parents. But you, do you really think you got here because of your efforts alone? That's not true. My parents have helped you a lot throughout the years. What a shame. Today, you're losing your family and the people who backed you all this time.
Jane's father was a politician, but he didn't get there only because of his own efforts. What propelled him to his position was the help of Jane's grandparents from her mother's side. Jane's father was overly confident and his reputation wasn't great. He was even shunned by younger politicians and colleagues. A few days later, Jane's father quit his position because rumors had spread about his affair. The woman he was having an affair with was a staff member of his, and he couldn't take the way his colleagues all looked at him when they found out. Of course, Jane's parents got divorced. Jane's mother claimed a huge amount of money from her ex-husband in alimony, and her father left his position in the middle of his career because of his affair. His pride made it very hard for him to find a new job. I've heard that he's now been working as a dishwasher at a restaurant. Jane and I decided to get married that year. After getting married, I planned to move in with Jane and my mother-in-law-to-be. Now that her father is out of the picture, Jane suddenly felt like her future was very bright. She's looking forward to her new life. Jane's father was good at studying, but he had zero life skills. I guess this is what happens when you forget to be thankful for the people who've helped you throughout your life. That is something we should all learn from. At least Jane's mother is a wonderful person. I hope that Jane and her mother live happy lives from now on. Thank you for watching. Did you enjoy today's story? Please subscribe to our channel for more. See you next time.